Good morning, everyone. It's Rita and her super barky dogs. They're super excited today. Very excited to be with you this morning on this rainy Friday. It's Friday, folks. In case you don't remember or know how to look at a calendar, it's Friday. We've had a week, another interesting week in extreme social isolation. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Emmy. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Teresa and Missy. Good morning. How are you all today? I am wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Even though it's cold, it's like the last Friday in April and it's freezing here. And we just so you know, I'm located north of Boston. Yay, Susan! Susan Sharp is joining us today. Penny, good morning, Penny. And I just seeing in the screen, you can actually see one of the corgis. That was Benji. So I am broadcasting live. Good morning, Pat and Melissa. Hello, everyone. Yes, do tell me when you're here because we are going to be doing a giveaway today for somebody that sticks with me through the whole broadcast. And I am calling it a broadcast now because someone mentioned that they were enjoying this, these morning quarantine, messages, and I hadn't thought about it, but yes, I started doing these back in mid-February before everybody went into social lockdown or whatever. And it was at the launch of the Joy, which was, I think it was announced right before Valentine's Day, I'm thinking. So I started doing these sort of morning things in my kitchen back a couple months ago, and it sort of grew because I got very encouraged. Thank you for sharing, Emmy. I got very encouraged to know that other people were home in the mornings and wanted to talk Cricut because I just, I know for me, prior to this pandemic, I have been an at-home mom, mostly an at-home person. I have one child, he's 14. He's affectionately known as Mo. And there were many years, because he's on the autism spectrum, there were many years that he needed my 100% attention, even during school days. And so running as a single mom, running a household, I could not work in a traditional way. So over the years, as he's grown and with the help of his wonderful teachers of the PBD Public Schools, and also the Northeast ARC and the Department of Developmental Services, he has developed into a wonderful young man. And we are going to talk about live shows in the evening, Teresa. Awesome. I'm so glad, Charlene. Charlene, aren't you supposed to be working? Aren't you supposed to be working, dear? I won't tell if you don't. So anyway, over the years, it's gotten to a place where I say, maybe I could get a job outside of the house, and actually was really putting a lot of thought into it. And then the pandemic hit and everybody's home. And so, okay, might have been another Charlene that said she was taking a break from work. I'm just kidding with you, Charlene. Okay, so the pandemic hit, and thank you, Susan. Hi, Amy. Good morning. And now everybody's home. So I just kept doing the morning lives. And so last night, as I was reading through comments, I came up with somebody who said, I'm really enjoying the morning lives. And I hope you keep it up. And it's been really good during the quarantine or whatever we're calling this thing. I started thinking, maybe I need to make it sort of officially a certain time, because I used to say, well, sometime in the morning. And I think what I'm going to try to do is say 9 a.m. Eastern, which is where I'm at. I'm north of Boston by about 20 miles in a city called Peabody, Massachusetts. It's spelled Peabody, like the pea, the veggie body, but it's pronounced Peabody. This is an important point that I'm going to give you right now. The city is named after a wonderful philanthropist named George Peabody. Only George Peabody didn't pronounce his name George Peabody. He announced it, I believe, from what I understand from the Historical Society, Peabody. But over the years, the name has been pronounced Peabody, and I am a proud citizen here. I've been here. This is my second time around. I moved up here to Peabody with my family when I was young. I grew up in Boston area in a city called Somerville. And then I moved up with my family for high school, middle school to Peabody. I left after I went to college and came back here in 1999 to work and have been here ever since. So I really like it here. It's a lot. It's a lot bigger than it used to be, but I like it. I'm very involved in my community. I serve on a couple of committees, including our brand new Butterfly Waste Station meet group and our Green Peabody Committee. But in addition to that, over the years, I've always been a crafter, and I've developed these skills. And then back, 2000, I can't remember, 2014, I started working in association with Cricut as a product expert. And this is a title that I share with, I think it's 12 other or 11 other people, right now all women, but 11 other people. And we are led by a wonderful team at Cricut. We are not employees of Cricut, but we're sort of what I like to call brand ambassadors. Oh, wonderful, Amy. I'm so glad to hear. You're a lot of... I am drinking my coffee too. I actually went back for my second cup, which is unusual because of the cold this morning. So anyway, back in 2014, I was asked and accepted this honor of being called a product expert. And since then, the whole system has grown, and I'm able to present you with different things with Cricut. Even though the title says product expert, I wouldn't call myself an expert at anything, but I love to craft, and I've been crafting for my whole life. And I have been a small business owner. I had my own soap making business called La Diva Bella that I had to sadly close when my son was born, and he was diagnosed with autism. So this is just another creative extension of who I am. So I am also super happy to have friends that I can see every day. I would imagine, I can't see you, but like I can talk with you. And I am very low tech person. And I'm a Generation X, so I don't use all the latest equipment. My aesthetics are not like, clean and grayscale and everything else. This is just me, and I'm happy to share it with you. I'm a proud Italian American from Boston, who loves to craft and happy to, just chit chat. I like to chat. So I think what I'm going to do is say that unless there are problems, and some of you know, if you're new, know that I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and I am going through treatments, but the treatments are scheduled every 3 weeks. So aside from having a few days that are bad, I think what I would like to do is to make a set time for you guys to visit. Hi Amy with the double M's, i.e. Amy is asking how old my son is. My son is 14 and a half now. And when he was, I knew when he was born that he was, there was something. He was born and he wasn't breathing, but that wasn't when I took him home. I knew, something, and I had him really late in life, so I was just so happy that I had a healthy baby. But over the, months, the first year and a half, I noticed that there were some things that didn't sort of, parse with me. And so I started talking with the doctor and stuff, and then he had some meltdowns, and he was nonverbal for several years. He started school at age 3. Sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. He started school at age 3 in the Peabody Public Schools at the McCarthy Integrated Preschool. A fabulous program. Love it. Kristen Hutton-Fay is the director over there, and Peggy Soper is the teacher. Was his teacher. And over the course of 3 years, he developed speech. And he has now been in school since he was 3. So he's been there, and he goes year round all through the summer. And this is a new thing for him because he is not going to school for the first time, an extended period of time, for the first time since he was 3. So almost a dozen years. And he's actually adapting pretty well. And I think he's really actually enjoying the break. He's a homebody anyway. I'm adjusting to him being home though, because he can still be demanding at 14, and he hasn't learned all that stuff that I do for him. That's kind of my fault, But so for him, he's actually enjoying the time being home. And he still does telelearning through his school. He goes to a special school. Anyway, enough about me. So can we make a date on Mondays, on mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to have this Cricut chat? I have so much I want to show you, including today we are going to be making this card. It is a Mother's Day card, thinking of you. It's square, and it's called a layered card. And you can't really see it. It's very thick, which can be a little problematic. Okay. But it's very thick and it's beautiful. And it would make a great Mother's Day card. And I want to show you today how to do this writing, how to resize it, how to put the sentiment on the inside. And we're not going to do envelopes, although this would be a great, and it does come with an envelope, so you can make the envelope. Oh, Penny, you know what? We're going to get back to this in a second. Penny saying her grandson was just diagnosed with autism. I I am a total advocate for my son in autism. Back when my son was diagnosed in 2006, 7, my dad, my family, we're very old school. He was so depressed, disheartened to hear. He thought it was kind of like a life sentence. And I said, well, it is a life sentence, Dad, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. And from that point on, I changed how I thought about it. And I think that that's done a world of good. If I looked at it as a disability, it would be not good, because then I would always be making changes like, oh, maybe I should do this for him. Maybe. No, I treat him, and I tell him this all the time. I love you. It doesn't matter if you have autism, or you don't have autism, or you're this or you're that, and so I'm going to treat you the exact same way I treat anybody, which is with respect and dignity. So going forward, when you see your grandchild, struggling with certain things, just keep that in mind, because they're still just children or people, and we all deserve that kind of respect. And I hear you. It's a tough thing to find out. So anyway, okay, let's get back. So, okay, also, someone mentioned about lives. We used to do, or we have been doing live videos, by the way, on YouTube on Friday nights. And I did that for like about a month or something. And to be honest, it got a little bit tedious because I don't understand all the technology. And I just am much better in Facebook. I think, YouTube, it opens up my audience, but Facebook's my medium of choice. So I was thinking, do I want to keep doing the Friday night or Saturday night live? And I want to hear your feedback, because if I do it, I'm going to do it here on Facebook, and I wanted to find out if I should create like an event and where we can plan, and I can let you know ahead of time what projects we're going to be using, what materials, so you can kind of work along with us. Right now, this morning thing is kind of whimsical in that I choose, usually the night before, I choose what the project's going to be, but I'm happy to plan for a bigger project, a little more of a bigger scope of a project, and do something like a live on Facebook. Maybe it's a little bit longer than an hour. I know an hour is a lot to ask of people. So I'm trying to keep this short, but I talk too much. Oh my gosh, I talk too much. So you guys let me know, all right? So let's talk about Anna Griffin. Anna Griffin is, I don't know if you know who she is. If you're somebody that likes to watch the shopping networks on TV, she is this adorable, petite, little blonde from Georgia, I think, Georgia. She's so cute. Oh my God, you just want to eat her up. She's little, and she's always wearing dresses, and she's just like my kind of gal. She does a lot of floral designs, particularly, like roses, but she has an enormous breadth of product, and she has her own company. Obviously, she goes on the Home Shopping Network, but she's been working with Cricut for years, and she developed what was it? She developed so many new products with Cricut, including I don't want to check and see how many. I think it's like close to 30 cartridges or image sets, as they're now called. Let me check. 44. She has all of these, including some really amazing Christmas stuff, lots of floral, lots of things for bridals, babies. Last year we did a number of her things in the Christmas kitsch, which was one of my favorite of hers. But she also has a couple of new ones called window box. She calls them window box, and then she has window ledge and frame, and these are just different kind of variations of a card. So she does like a box card, and here is her box window, Anna's window box cards here. Hers are very different in that it's still a box, and it still folds flat, but it uses print then cut, and I want to show you how that works going forward. I want to show you how that works. The really big news was last Christmas, it was around Christmas, we got word that all of Anna's used to have to purchase all of her cartridges, and I would wait with bated breath and buy them all, and I'm happy. And if you see on my screen, it says purchase because I purchased them all. And I think there were only like 2 that I hadn't purchased, but it was hard for me to advocate, to always say, hey, you should check this out, because it was a cost involved, and I know people didn't want to pay a whole lot of money. However, back in December of 2019, they announced that all of her images and fonts are free if you are a Cricut Access customer. So I was like, we gotta do all this stuff. Hi, Nicole from Bristol, Indiana. And Wendy, hi Wendy, Missy, and Dawn. Dawn Walsh. I think we have a couple Dawns on today. Yes, and please introduce yourself as we go along, because we're going to pick one winner for a infusible ink prize pack today. Sip of my coffee. Okay, so Anna has all of these wonderful things. She has something that she does with scoring wheel, I mentioned before, called scoring wheel tricks. And I actually have a project coming up that does that. It's rosettes. And I want to show you how the scoring wheel works with the rosettes and some of that beautiful Anna paper that we got in one of the mystery boxes a few weeks back. But she has also cards, lots and lots and lots of cards. And she also has sentiments. And a lot of people, when they and this is important, for anybody that has a Cricut, because if you're making, for instance, Cricut Joy cards and you want to put sentiments on the inside, my suggestion is, rather than reinvent the wheel, go check out what Anna has. And I've actually shown you a couple of times how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that today. But she has a lot of sentiments, and one of the types of cards that she has, this is called the lovely layered card, okay, is that it's layered. It has a number of colors, and it gives it depth, so without being 3D, it gives it really an in-depth kind of a look. But she has, in this grouping, she has these cards that has a little strip here. She also offers them without the strip, so if you don't want to use the strip, that's fine. But the strip is great because you can put the sentiment here that you want. And I'm going to show you how to attach that. And then I also show you how to grab this sentiment and attach it to here, and then we'll cut it out and I'll show you how it goes together. Okay, so first things first, let's start off with something. I'm going to save my work here. So we're in Cricut Design Space, and by the way, you may notice this morning or over the weekend that they're doing an update on Cricut Design Space, and so you may be asked to update your Cricut Design Space. I don't know what all is in the update. I just know that this morning I got asked to update, and I'm sure they're always forever working on it. So this is why I choose Cricut all the time, because they're just very dedicated to working on their product. Okay, so let's start new by just starting with a new canvas. And I do that up here on the left-hand side. I choose plus, new, and then I'm going to go look for this image, which is an Anna card. So I'm going to go to images. Under this is the new search engine, which is very text, not image laden. Kind of funny because it's really text. And anyway, it used to have a lot of just images. And if you want to just see all the images, which is well over 100,000, actually 132,000, if you just went to and hit browse all images, you could see all of those. But what we're going to do is we're going over here to the left column, bottom, image sets. Okay. This replaces the old cartridges search engine that actually not a lot of people knew about. I used it constantly because I've been a Cricut user when they did have cartridges, and I used to know some cartridges that I really, really loved, and I didn't know how to find them, and this was, you know, so anyway, so they updated it. Now it's called image sets. Used to be cartridges. When you click on that, you'll see that there are actually over 3,000 sets of images. And so there's quite a few, and they're forever adding to it. And all of these have that A, which means it's a Cricut Access. Access image, meaning Access is a subscription service. You do not need Access to work with Design Space. It helps, and it does cost money. I find it's really it's a great add-on for me because I don't have to worry about, do I own this? Do I want to buy this? You know, I pay the once a year, and I just get all the images, all the fonts, and I'm done with, you know. But we can have a conversation about that later if anybody has any questions about Cricut Access. So anyway, while we're at the image sets, you can search for particular image sets. And in this case, we're looking for Anna. I always just type in Anna's with apostrophe S. And then what comes up is these are her 44 image sets. She's got flip cards, she's got print and cut projects, she's got ornaments and home decor, she's got pop-ups and box cards galore, an entire grouping that just does scoring wheel tricks. That includes those rosettes. She's got cards that are ledge cards and all of that stuff. Christmas, tons of fonts, even has a monogram. Okay, what we're going to look for is we're going to be looking for this cartridge called, or this image set. I have to get in the habit. We're going to be looking for this one. It's called Anna's Lovely Layered Cards. And that's the one we're going to use. She actually has 2 sets of these cards, Anna's Lovely Layers cards and Anna's Lovely Layered Card 2. So we're going to go to the first one. And what you're presented with is, it's basically, there's like, maybe I think there's like a dozen different designs, but they're given in different formats, okay? Then plus you get a lot of sentiments, as we were discussing. So for an example, this is our rose card that we're doing. Okay, but you'll see it's here, and there's one here, and if you scroll, there's this one that's like a 5x7 size, and then if you scroll some more, this should be the 5x7 size. There it is, 5x7 size with the strip. But this one we're going to use is this one. It's a square design, and it has the strip because I want to show you how to put the strip on there. So I'm going to select that, and I thought since it's coming Mother's Day, I would look for a strip that says Happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to also, I know there's one that's in here. Where is it? Here it is. Happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to grab that too. And then I also want to put a sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to grab this thinking of you. You could put Happy Mother's Day. It's up to you what you want to do. So I have 3 separate images. You can see that they're down here. So I've got the card that I want, plus the sentiment for the front and the sentiment for the inside. I'm going to insert those into my canvas, my blank canvas, right? I'm going to move them around so you can see. So they all function separately. Let's talk a little tiny bit about envelopes. I've been telling y'all that I don't make my envelopes. It's kind of tiny bit untrue because if it's a special item, I will, like if it requires a really fancy envelope or if I really need to mail it, I will work with the envelope that they've given. And in this case, because it's a square card, I don't generally have square cards available. So I might use this with the card envelope. But for our purposes today, I'm just going to get rid of it because it just leads us down a different path. Okay, so I'm going to take and ungroup this. And her envelopes come in 2 pieces. Let's just delete them. Okay. Now, when the card comes in, now, once I ungroup it, by the way, it turns into all of this. Is why it's called a lovely layered card. So I got this and this, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 layers. And they're going to be layered and then glued and all of that. So when you ungroup it, it comes apart, and that's good. We need to know that. But one of the things I should have done before I ungrouped it was to change the size, because when it comes in, the size is like maybe 3 inches, too small. So most cards that are square are usually between 4 and 6 inches square. So I'm going to kind of stack these all back together and resize them. So I'm going to group it, and I'm going to change up here the width or the height. You can do either way because it's locked, the proportions would stay the same. So personally, because this is a card that's not going to be available on the Joy, which I can show you a modification on how to do this for the Joy, by the way. But personally, if I were making cards, I would focus on not the width, but the height, because the height is what the end product is going to be as high, right? The width doubles because it's an opened card with the scoring there, okay? So up here, once I have the image selected, I'm thinking I'm going to make the height, let's say 5, right? Maybe we could do 6. I don't know. No, 6 is too big, actually. Let's say 5. Okay, so now our card is 5 inches, 5 inches tall, and because it's square, it's 5 by 5. Okay, but the width is going to be from here to here. So you need to remember that when you're sizing your card. I think the general idea is, oh, I'll just select them all and make it. I want it to be 5 inches across. No, you got to consider that you're going to have the back end of the card. This is not something you do with the Joy, but if you have an Explorer or a Maker, this is what you would do. Okay, so we've resized the card. That's great. We don't need it to be grouped anymore, so we're going to ungroup it, and I'm going to show you. This is just a cutting project, but I did also bring up this and the sentiment on the inside. So we need to attach those, but we have to size them first. Okay. So I decided that I was going to put the sentiment on the outside here in that strip, and then put the inside sentiment here on the inside. And the way that this this product, this card is set up, is that this white is the outside part. Then you get these layers. You get a light pink, a medium pink, green, ivory, and then here's your bottom, the inside cards. I'm going to just move these guys over because really don't have to do anything but cut them. All right. So now we have the inside and the outside. Let's call them that. And we have our 2 sentiments. Whoops. We have our 2 sentiments. Let's focus on the inside one first. So this is the inside one that I want. Now, if this happens to you, where you go over here and you're like, okay, Rita, I want to put this on my card, but I can't see it. This is a very easy fix. You're going to go up here where it says arrange. And with that thing, that sentiment highlighted, right? See, I'm highlighting it. I'm going to hit arrange and send it to the front. Now I can see it and I can move it around. It's on top of my card, on the inside part of my card, and I can move it around. I can decide, do I want to put here? Do I want to put here? Do I want to make it smaller? Do I want to make it bigger? And so I can decide what I want to do. I kind of like it on the smaller side for a square card, and generally speaking, I put the sentiment in the middle, and that's an eyeball thing. I suppose you get scientific about it, but I put it in the middle and sort of closer to the tops because I want to leave room. I have very big scrawly handwriting, and I want to leave room for my own little personal bit there. So, okay, I think I like this size and I like its position. So now what I'm going to do is select the entire card, that part of the card, okay? And I'm selecting it so I have my little handlebars around it. There's the X. This is a different thing. It moves the thing. We can talk about that. This is what changes the size, and this is what unlocks it for size. But we don't need to deal with those handlebars. We just want to make sure that the handlebars are showing. And then we're going to go down here to attach. That's that little paperclip looking thing. So whenever you're attaching the sentiments, which is a writing thing, remember, you're attaching the sentiments, you're going to use the paperclip. And it basically attaches now, just so you can see, now my sentiment is on there. So when I go to cut it and use it, it doesn't appear separately. If I were to cut this now prior to attaching, you would actually have a mat that comes up just with the writing. We don't want that, okay? So now we have our card with the sentiment on the inside. Now let's work on the front. Again, here's the front, and here's my sentiment. I'm going to change it so that it appears in the front by using arrange, send it to the front, and you'll notice it's small. Let me get closer so you can see. Okay, it's sort of small. It's not stretched over that entire strip. So this is where we use those handlebars, and we use the ones with the arrows, and we're going to just sort of pull it and stretch it to fit. You might have to move it, and you have to eyeball it the way you like it. I like to put it so that the writing is sort of doesn't exceed this part there. So that to me looks great. Yeah, so that looks great. So I'm going to select this, and I am going to attach it, just like I did with the inside. Now we're ready to cut. Believe it or not, that's it. Okay, so we resized it. We added a sentiment on the front. We added a sentiment on the back. The next part is we have to pick out our paper, and there are obviously suggested papers there, but I've got, you know, like pinks. And this is, so I've got 3 different color pinks. I got a green, a cream, and I also came up with this. Did I have a white? Is this white or cream? Oh yeah, that's white, sorry. I thought for the cream this time we could use this foil paper. Almost all of this paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inch paper, comes from Michaels, generally. Hold on. And here is an example of what I've been talking about. So Michaels has this happens to be a Christmas one, where they package, sometimes they do different colors, sometimes they do single colors. This is what you'd want to look for when you go to Michael's. It's called Recollections brand. It is, I call it paper, it's not paper, it's cardstock, and it's usually packaged like this, 50 sheets. This one here is priced at $6, but you know Michael's, they have sales all the time, and when the pandemic's over, they'll probably have a huge one, where you can pick these up for about $2. And because they're about $2, I have it in a whole range of colors, and they do have quite a range. They have white, they have black, they have the foils, they have solids as well. They're all solids, but I mean, they have like solid packs. And then they have mixes, you know, seasonal and what have you. So that's where I get that. So let's go ahead and cut this. And so moving right along, we'll cut this. Now, one of the things about Anna's cards, they're very intricate. So the best thing for you to do is to try to use as new a mat as you can. And I know a lot of people, we like to prolong, including myself, like to prolong the use of the mats, but for a project like this, a new mat is your best friend, because there will be some skipping or like what's the thing, like dragging of your blade, because these things are very, very detailed. There is a trick, and I'm going to show you what that is, but just save yourself a headache and use a newer mat. So I've got myself some new mats here. By the way, if you have a new mat, keep that little plastic thing, because we have a great craft for that. So I keep them. And I do wash my mats, and you can restick the mats. It's not recommended, but you can restick them. But for a project like this, that's very detailed, you do definitely want to have as new of a mat that has as least amount of like lint on it. One of the things that does happen though with a brand new mat is you have a tendency to have some curling. I'm going to show you how to take it off of the mat. Okay, so I put it on the mat, and I'm going to choose the material. Now I could browse materials, or I could choose my favorites. Now, personally, I generally cut all my paper projects on medium weight cardstock. It works great for me with my machine and with the cardstock I use. For Anna's projects, if it's very detailed, I often will choose a cardstock for intricate cuts, which is right here. And so you can actually star that, if you want to make it a favorite, you can star it, and you can choose cardstock for intricate cuts. What this does is it slows down your machine so that it's not like rushing to get through, okay? The other thing is, and you don't have to choose that, but it does help, you know, it may be not on all of the cuts, but you can change through the cutting process. Also note that under tools and materials, it's asking me for my scoring wheel. We talked about this yesterday. I'm going to switch this to scoring Stylist by choosing edit and scoring Stylist and apply. That's only because really the only scoring that's going to happen is right down the middle of the card. And I can see where that, even though it's kind of faint when it comes in on the scoring Stylist, I can see it enough to make the fold. Okay, so I'm going to take my mat. Now first, when you have scoring, it always does the scoring first. I'm going to move this over so you can have a look at how this works. Okay, so I put it in, it's doing the scoring, but I have to add my scoring Stylist. Remember, we do this, we open it, this is the clamp that we're going to put it in. You have to hold the bottom and allow it to click, right? And then my button is flashing, so I'm going to touch that button, and it's going to do the scoring first. Always does the scoring first. Then it does the writing. Then it does the cutting. It always goes in that order. So remember that if you're doing something that has both scoring and writing, because sometimes you might write when you want to score or score when you want to write. Okay, so it did the scoring, so I'm going to take it out. And I'm using this pen. It is a fine, extra fine point pen, 0.3 in green. I just thought it looked nice. I'm going to put it in my clamp, because that's what my screen you can't see, but it says I need to put it in. Put in my clamp, hold it at the bottom, make sure it clicks, close it, hit my button again. So now it's going to do that Happy Mother's Day. And it's kind of weird because I know it's not cut out, so you're thinking, is it right? But the machine knows. The machine knows. And while I'm waiting for that to write, I'm going to prepare my other mats. I'm the kind of gal that uses a lot of mats. And we've had this conversation about mats before. It's just simply my thing. I basically what I do is I rotate them. I do clean my mats. So I try to reuse them and use them as much as possible. But I work with like a group of like 20 to 40 mats at a time. And then sort of rotate them. Eventually they lose their stick completely, although there is a way that you can, you know, prolong it and in some cases re-stick it a little bit. But, you know, it's just the nature of the game. You're going to have to buy mats eventually. That's just one of the drawbacks of having a Cricut. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to draw, okay, so now that it's done the writing, it's starting to do the cutting. It just automatically goes into it. You don't have to touch any buttons at that point, okay? And I got all of my mats prepared to go in as we cut these out. And I'm going to show you real quick, because I'm running long, but I'm going to show you real quick how to put this together. It's super simple. It just requires really good strong glue and you being diligent about putting the glue on there. Okay, here I'm making a mess. Hey, while we're talking and waiting for this to cut, let us I do, Pat. When they're on sale, I think there might be a sale going on right now. I think they're like 40% off at Cricut site. And by the way, if you're a Cricut Access member, you get an additional like 10% off. And if I also have a link, if you use my link, you can get an additional 10% off plus free shipping. But do know that right now with the pandemic that there are, and I'll put the link, by the way, in the description after we're done, that right now with the pandemic, they're having some delays, like everybody is, with shipping. So if you place an order, you plan accordingly, okay? So, okay, while we're waiting, and this is all cutting, I'm gonna take my pen out. While we're waiting, let's do our giveaway. Now, if you were here at the beginning, you heard me tell you a story about the name of my city, which is pronounced Peabody, Massachusetts. And I wonder if you know, the first person who tells me who the city was named after will win a prize. So who was my city, Peabody, Massachusetts, named after? I'm looking for a first and last name. And so rack your brain. Yes, Nicole, George Peabody. Ebony, no, Peabody. It is Peabody, but Nicole, she got it. Mr. Peabody, not Mr. Peabody from the TV show. It's actually a real man named George Peabody. And Nicole, you are the winner. Yes, you're the winner. And great job, Missy, Penny, and Teresa. George Peabody. Not Mr. Peabody from the, what was that called? Sherman and George Peabody. But actually, George Peabody, he was a very famous philanthropist, and it was very, very into education, and he was from London. And if you're interested in his story, you can go to Wikipedia and look up George Peabody. And so, okay, here's a bonus giveaway. All right, bonus. Let me see how I'm going to word this. How did George Peabody pronounce his name? See if you can spell it out. Right now when I'm explaining it, it's Peabody. Was that the way that he pronounced his name? Or was it a different pronunciation? You tell me. So for the next person to win, while I'm waiting for an answer. Yes, congratulations, Nicole. Teresa keeps writing Ebony. It's Peabody, Peabody, and I'm wondering if you guys know how he pronounced his name. Come on. Like the vegetable, yes. Like the vegetable. Pat, you are our bonus winner. He pronounced his name Peabody. Like, yes, Pat, you are the second winner. You both, Nicole and Pat, have won an infusible ink prize pack. That includes 2 t-shirts that are infusible ink t-shirts, 1 box of infusible ink transfer sheets in rainbow, and 1 package of infusible ink pens. And what you need to do is to send me an email with your name and address, Pat and Nicole. But by the way, here's my email address if anybody needs to ever send me anything. It's Miss Rita to the rescue @gmail.com. So Pat, Nicole, your assignment is to receive your prize. You need to send me your name and address to Miss Rita to the rescue @gmail.com. Okay? Congratulations. Good paying attention skills, ladies. Very proud of you. I'm going to have to come up with a different story. And it's kind of funny because in Massachusetts is kind of, and I am a native of Massachusetts, and we have sort of a funny story we tell about how everything is mispronounced just to kind of scare off the locals. Scare off the people that are visiting, not the locals. So the locals they pronounce everything different. So like Haverhill is spelled Haverhill, and Danvers, Beverly, they're all pronounced differently. Worcester, Somerville, they're all pronounced differently. And it's so much fun. We also have our own words for things that I know that other people do not have. For things like rotaries, we call them rotaries. You guys mostly call them roundabouts. We don't call them a water fountain. We call them bubblers. We don't call it like a beer or liquor store. We call them packies for package stores. You're welcome, Pat. So that's the fun part. We don't call, when you go to the ice cream shop and you have those sprinkles, the chocolate ones, This one's kind of a little, not such a great one, but we call those jimmies. I don't know, we've just always called them jimmies. I don't know if it's a bad word, but someone told me recently that was bad. But so we have our own little language up here. It's really a lot of fun. When we ever get out of here, I can show you around the place in the summertime. It's really fun. And Peabody, by the way, is located just right alongside Salem. Most people know Salem, they don't know Peabody. Peabody is right next to Salem, and it was once part of Salem. And Salem is where the witch trials happened, and there are monuments to the witch trials and everything. So it's really a fun place to visit if you ever are in the neighborhood. So we're cutting out each of the mats. There's 6 of them. I know this is kind of a little bit slow. I apologize. The reason why it's slow is because I chose that intricate cut cardstock, and am cutting the 3rd of the 6 cards. And to show you how this goes together, we need to have all 6 of those layers. So while I'm waiting and doing that, if there's anybody that you think of your soap opera, is there a soap opera? Teresa, is there a soap opera that is about Salem, like Massachusetts? It's kind of interesting. I grew up, just north of Boston. Well, I didn't grow up here, but I've lived here long enough. And I think a lot of people, they just go Salem, oh, witches, right? And it's like, well, yeah, but there's a whole lot that happened. For instance, Marblehead, which is right on the coast, is the birthplace. Oh, Days of Our Lives has Salem. Is it Salem, Massachusetts? Because there's a Salem, Oregon. But I don't watch Days of Our Lives, so I don't really know. Let me know. Okay. I'm doing the inside piece now, so I've got to pay attention here. Put the scoring wheel in there. Not the scoring wheel, the scoring stylus. Okay. Here we go. I think on the inside, because it's a dark color, I'm going to use black. And you can do that because you can change whatever, you have. You don't have to choose. It's saying that it wants a scoring wheel. I don't want the score. I don't want to put the scoring wheel. I thought that would have changed it. Nope. Let's edit. Scoring stylus. Apply. Here we go. Oh, it's Oregon. Yeah, Salem, Oregon's a lot different, I think. And do you know, sorry. I'm a history buff. Do you know where the origin of the word Salem, the name Salem, comes from? Does anybody know? If you're a Stephen King fan, you would know what Salem is short for, actually. Anybody know? Maybe I should give away a prize. If I give away a prize, do you know the origin of the name, the city name Salem? Where does it come from? I will give a prize to that winner. If you know the answer to that, speak up, because you could win a fabulous prize. I have to see. I think I might actually have one more giveaway. If not, I can find a bunch of stuff here and send it to our winner. Somebody who knows what Salem, the city of Salem, the name of the city of Salem is... Hi, Alexis from British Columbia, Canada. Awesome. Love to talk with my Canadian friends. Okay, I'm looking for an answer. The city of Salem is named from a different name. What is the origin? And the clue is, if you're a fan of Stephen King, he has a novel that shows that variation. Is it the Hebrew word for peace? What also is it a word for? That's another clue. Where was Jesus born? Okay. Pink. I'm really stretching your brains today, guys. Missy, you're gonna get an A for effort because you got some interest. Yeah, Bethlehem. Actually, it's Jerusalem. Okay, so all right, Missy's getting a runner-up prize. And Teresa, you're going to get a prize because you got biblical on me and Bethlehem. Salem is actually short for the city Jerusalem. And that Namkig, where are you guys finding that? That Namkig is actually the Indian. We had a very strong Indian population here. Maybe you're finding on Wikipedia. All right, so Missy gets our runner-up prize, and Teresa, you're going to get our prize for coming close. So you know what to do, ladies. You have to send me an email at Miss Rita to the rescue at gmail.com. Send me an email, and I will make sure that I get you your prizes. Missy, your prize is going to leave from here, from next to Salem. Salem's Lot, that is right. Penny Leo, right. Stephen King's novel is called Salem's Lot, and if you've ever seen the actual novel, it shows with an apostrophe. And that's because it was short for Jerusalem's Lot. If you ever read that book, Salem's Lot, it's actually about vampires, but the name of the city or the town was called Jerusalem's Lot. That's the answer. Yay, you won! So we had how many winners today? 1, 2, 3, 4 winners. So I expect to get that email from you, ladies. An email from you. And now that we're done with all our giveaways, I'm cutting out the last, and look at me, I'm so obsessive. Do you guys do this? I clean my mats as I take the stuff off so that I have them for the future. So here, I'm gonna move you back over so I can show you how to put this in together. Okay, and I'm going to just move my... Oh, hello, Benji. I got a little friend visiting me. He hears me talking, and plus he knows he gets little treats when I get done. So that's what he's probably saying. Mom, you're going on too long. Where's my treat? Okay, so here are our cutouts. We're waiting for one more to cut out, but we have... This is the interior of the card. This is the exterior of the card. And then we have 3 with a 4th one. I cut it out in foil instead of the cream. This light pink, the green, and now the medium pink is now done. Let's get it off the mat. All right. Now we just have to stack it and put it together. So there's all of our pieces. Okay, so let's start with the front piece. There is a score here. It is faint because I use a scoring stylus. That's fine. But what I'm going to do very carefully is I'm going to fold at the score. Do it with your fingers first. Just make sure you got that. And then you're going to take something such as a scraper or a bone folder, or you can use your fingers, but this is really important that you press and create that crease, that fold. I'm going to do that over here. Let's see if I can move my camera so you can see what I'm doing. Oops, there's a little technical difficulties. Thanks for sticking with me. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm making that crease. That's really important, especially for the outside layer. Then I'm going to actually turn it the opposite way and do that crease again. Also important for this project. Okay, so there is that. Very nice crease. Okay. Oh, Susan, you missed it. There'll be more we give away stuff all the time here. So there's our interior piece, and I'm going to crease that too. It's important because the layers can make the card feel a little thick. Now the middle piece, the inside piece, just put that aside for right now. We're not going to need it. I'm going to be working with this and our layers. So you're going to want to stack each of the layers. And the way that these stack is the one with the most amount of space left. So that would be this one. Goes on the bottom, and then this one goes over it. You see how it creates that? There's our leaf. Then comes this one. Yeah. Oh, wait. I made a mistake. There it is. Okay, sorry. I forgot that the gold foil has the least amount here cut out. So I need to change it. There we go. So it goes gold foil, green, medium, pink, light pink. Like that, okay? So we're going to start with the foil piece. Flip these over. Remember, it's like a sandwich you're making, okay? I'm using, this is the glue that I use. It's called Art Glitter Glue. Somebody sent me, and I'm going to have to get that for you, but I buy this generally at createforless.com, but somebody sent me a good place to find it, and I'm going to check it out and get back to you guys on it. And by the way, just hold on. I do need glue. Mine's right currently. It's not doing too good. All right. So by the way, if you ever like get lost with the way that they should stack, you can always come back to your canvas and sort of move them around and see, oh, okay. So we've got the light, the medium, green, and then either that cream or foil. So I've got my things, and I'm going to put my glue. This is where I wish my glue is working right. Oh, here we go. Okay. Very delicately, not a lot of glue, and just kind of little dots here and there and around. Okay. Flip it over carefully. Align it onto that back layer, the gold layer. Watch what I do. Press it. Okay. So we got those two done. Next one up, the medium. A few little dots of glue. I hear some noise. I don't know what the noise is going on outside. Much quieter than the other day. Was it yesterday that we had the street cleaners? Yeah, the street cleaners. Okay, I'm lining it up. Lining up is important. And then press. You could also use something like this if you wanted to press. Just be careful because, you know, there, and remember, less glue than you think you need, because otherwise it might like seep through, and then it will ruin the paper. All right, then we do the final piece. Now the final piece, you're going to want to make sure these little pieces that sort of are free floating are going to have glue on them. So you have to be a little more careful, because otherwise they'll stick up and they'll tear off and you'll be unhappy. Okay? All right, so we've got our 4 layers. Isn't it starting to look beautiful? Could I use spray glue? I don't know. I don't know, Teresa. I could probably try it and we can see if it would work. I do have spray glue. Okay, so here's my little sandwich of my 4 layers. Here's my outside piece. Remember, forgetting about the inside piece. And we're going to put the glue. Be very careful right along here. The edge where you need enough glue there, okay? But just not too much, because otherwise it seeps through and you're going to be like, what did I do? And it's just not going to look as professional. Obviously, someone will be like, oh, I love it. You know, mom will love it. That's okay. But, you know, we're always trying to be better. Okay, so I have a sandwich backwards. I'm going to line it up here. Press. Almost done. Now we have this. The inside piece, I only attach the front, not the back, okay? I like the way that it kind of free, and if you do both, it kind of like cracks. So I only do the front, and this one needs not so delicate of a hand. You know what? Actually, as I'm sitting here thinking, Teresa, they have these machines. I don't know if they still make them. I have one. It was called a Xyron, Xyron. You could maybe run it through there, and basically it would put the glue there. Okay, so this is free. And there is our card. You may want to go back and just make sure that that crease is real good, because it's become thick. I like the gold with it too, Missy. And that's it. It wasn't hard. Was it hard? Did you guys think it was hard? It was really, I mean, obviously you have to listen to me talking the whole time, but I don't think it was difficult to do. And all of the cards in that cartridge or image set, all of them are a similar style. You just remember, and let's just go back and look at it just real quick. When you go to images, this is where you find it in case you missed that part. Go to images. On the main image, you're going to go to image sets. And then you're going to type in that little search area, Anna. I always do Anna's. Hit return, get the 44 results. Scroll, look for lovely layered cards, and be advised that there are 2 of these lovely layered cards, 2. I got this one from Lovely Layered Cards 1, just regular Lovely Layered cards, and no barking. Oh, is that our mailman? I hope that's just the mailman. Okay. Okay, so I got it from Lovely Lady Cards 1, and you have a choice of size and also if you want that strip on there, okay? And it's with each of the designs. This one's really beautiful, by the way. This is Snowflakes. I do that at New Year's. Beautiful. But here are the designs. You know, look at this like simple one. You get the rose, some really pretty Art Deco-y kinds of things. But they're all available in the square size, the regular size, with or without the banner. That's what I'm going to call it, a banner. I call it a strip, but I'm going to call it a banner. And that's it, guys. Isn't it beautiful? Wonderful. I'm so glad you stuck it out with me. And I hope that you had fun. Again, I am really just so thrilled to have the opportunity to be with you guys every day. And not that I'm waiting for this pandemic to, you know, I want it to go on any longer. But hey, while we're together, let's make the most of it, right? If you have anything that you want to add or you're watching this after the fact, please, 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 because I do repost these under YouTube. So please, please, please comment. I answer all of my comments. It sometimes can take me 1 or 2 days, but I do if you have a question or a problem. Awesome, Vicki. So, and then also if you have a thought about the live videos, I was thinking we were doing them on Friday nights on YouTube, but maybe we could do Saturday nights at like 7 o'clock on Facebook. So let me know. Hi, thanks so much, Missy, for joining us. You're off today. That's good. So let's kind of think about, and if you have any comments about Saturday nights at 7 o'clock. Yes, Roxanne. Hi, nice to see you, Roxanne. So Saturday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll do, I think this week, because I haven't had a chance to plan too much, and someone was asking about this project. This is a hydrangea, from Dreaming Tree. I think that we'll probably do this, and I'm going to show you a variation that I did for my sister, which was a wreath made out of these. Okay, so Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Facebook, not YouTube, okay, Facebook, so here, and we'll go live, and let's see, I'll sweeten the pot. We'll have at least one prize, okay? And let's see, is there anything else? Just to have a great day, guys. I might see you later on. Actually, I might see you Saturday morning, but I'll work towards Saturday night to do this project by Dreaming Tree, the hydrangea pots. It's a little bit of a repeat. We did it once on YouTube, but people really like it. Awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Susan. So Saturday and Penny, Saturday night, 7 o'clock here on Facebook, live to do Dreaming Trees, hydrangea flower pots, with the variation for a wreath. And I will post a link to the project, okay? And you can purchase it ahead of time if you haven't purchased it before. And it's a great project. It's from Dreaming Tree, and it's really a fun project. All right, Emmy, I will see everyone tomorrow night. And thank you so much for joining me today. I just love talking with you. I love I don't feel so isolated when I do. I'm so glad that I'm doing this. What? Yeah, the dogs are going crazy. All right, quiet. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.